morning, everyone, and welcome to American Scouser's Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser on a Friday morning, on a Reckless Friday. We are always brought to you by Reckless Coffee Roasters, and we are here. Kazi is here. Kazi, what's happening?
Good, brother, yeah. We haven't got the Batman to the Joker today, have we? We haven't got our Joker in the pack.
No, I don't know if he's Batman or Joker, but either way, he's probably more the Joker. He is actually harassing the team at the hotel as we speak. So he drove to Pittsburgh yesterday. So obviously it's match day today. So he drove to Pittsburgh, and his luck or his wife knew, I don't know. But the hotel he's staying at is the same hotel as the team. He was sending me photos of the bus and all that kind of stuff yesterday. So he's seeing all these people. I already sent him the invite. If he's able to find a quiet spot in the hotel for him to hop on and stuff. But we were harassing him, you and I, to get somebody on air over here. But
yeah, I mean, they might have other things going on, I suppose. But
what could be more important? What could possibly be more important?
I know exactly. I agree with you. You said he was having breakfast next to Ian Rush, and he'll work. He'll work for us.
See, I don't know though. See, I'm not gonna believe it if I don't have any video. Like, is he in the same huge ass restaurant's room in the hotel or something like that? And
like saying we're having breakfast with Michael Jordan because you're in the same country.
Exactly. He might be. He's like, we're in the same city. We're almost together, kind of.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this though before we get any further. So this is happening, people. August 10th through 11th, noon to noon, 24-hour pot-a-thon. So we're doing this to support the Jamie Carragher Foundation. You can see some of the items donated by the foundation that is going to go on the silent auction. We also have other items being donated as we go. And that's what we're really mainly asking for is donations to that silent auction. If you guys have anything that you feel like would be beneficial, we can silent auction, get the money, and pass it on to the Jamie Carragher Foundation. And also, we are looking for sponsors for the 24-hour pot-a-thon where you can sponsor an hour. So contact us. The rates are not really that high. The whole goal is to really accumulate as much as we can and send over to the foundation and stuff. They've been great with us, hoping to get a video from Jamie and stuff like that as well. But obviously, I mean, there's some really, really cool items there. I definitely will be bidding on the one that's Jamie's holding over there. But 24 hours, man. Honestly, when I first thought of this, I'm like, oh, that's a piece of cake. But then people are really scaring me now, saying 24 hours of stuff and stuff like that.
I was going to say to him, man, we're not young whippersnappers anymore, where you're 21.
Speak for yourself, buddy. Speak for yourself, okay?
When you're 21, 22 and that, mate, and you can do all these all-night things that, I can't do this anymore. I go to Vegas every now and then, fella. It feels like I've had mild surgery if I stay up past, 15 hours of no sleep. Weird.
Yes, the conditioning of partying definitely diminishes as you get older. Because I was thinking about this, and at one work, and I'll probably tell the story when we do the podcast and stuff. But at one point, I worked 32 hours straight, when I was working. But then again, now that you mentioned that was well over a decade ago, if not almost 2 decades ago. So I might not be in the same condition I was then, possibly.
You wait till it's 2 a.m. We're talking about fucking Brendan Rodgers' worst signings or something. You just wait for we're in the doldrums of the 14-15 season. We've signed Lambert and Barini and Balotelli at 2 a.m. and we're like, what's going on here? Let's call it quits.
I mean, the biggest thing has been, look who is here. Hold on, let's bring him on over here. What's happening over there? Where is Ian?
I'm gonna make it very quick. The team is loading out. Pretty packed, fans everywhere. And we did make a couple of sightings. Big Boss was here. He waved at us. He said hello to him. And
you waved at you or your kid?
No, to the kid. I'm using the kid for my advantage. Let me work. But it's pretty cool, pretty chill. Everybody's really laid back. There was a little bit of aggressive people here and there trying to jump inside here. But other than that, it's well organized. Everybody's really laid back, and Arne might be the coolest dude ever. I'll give you guys that. I'll talk about it eventually, but I'm extremely chill. super nice. When he saw my kid and he saw other kids, he went to every single one of them, said hello, and just like kind of cracked some jokes. And he's a man for the people. I'll tell you guys that. And right now, both buses are loading up. John Barnes is here. McAllister is here. Not our new McAllister, our good old Gary Mecca.
Oh my God! He just Kazi just had a heart attack.
Yeah, that's my favorite player.
He's here, pretty also really chill. Got a lot of pictures and gave out some signed posters. So overall, really everybody's pretty cool. No issues. And what are the odds? I ended up staying at the same hotel. My wife, she said if we go, she has to pick the hotel. I'm like, okay, go for it. And she did well. I'll give her that. So I'll keep you guys posted. We'll get some interviews today. We'll talk to some people. And I have a feeling Tim Wishin's wish is going to come true. Some players might just say American Scouser. We'll see how that goes.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
We'll see how that goes.
Have a good time.
Yeah, so you guys enjoy. I'll get back with you guys in a little bit with some footage.
Take it easy, man. We'll see you.
Bye, guys.
We'll wait to the kid, not you. Matush says gonna get ahead of the headlines now. Man rushed out of Pittsburgh hotel after stealing child to use as bait. Hey, I'll tell you. I mean, you know, right? Take a kid to the mall to like shop for the wifey or something for a birthday or something like that.
I mean, it's
the downfall. It's like a chick magnet, but the downfall is now you got a kid.
Yeah, exactly. It's like walking in with a new puppy, you know. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. But no, fair play to him now. I think he could blend himself as Liverpool's first signing if if he can place his cards right and wear the same kit.
It'll be interesting. I know we're gonna do the pre-match. We might even do a watch along actually, but we're definitely gonna be on air for the game. It should be pretty chill, and I'm sure. I don't know if everybody being relaxed is probably normal for a preseason game, but that should be interesting. And then he'll talk to some fans before the game and stuff like that. So Anand is a man of the people himself. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know when the kid is gonna punch out and call it a day. That's the only issue we're gonna have to see over there. But yeah, that should be interesting. But yeah, just to finish up this, our sponsors, please send me a message. Through Facebook, you can send a message to the website as well. Contact us. Basically, we're getting a sponsor for every hour. You can come on air as well. I think the first official one right now we have is the Carragers at New York is going to sponsor one of the hours, for example. So Mike is going to come on air. So we're going to basically schedule everybody. Bring people on. 24 hours should just fly by or something like that, hopefully.
Yeah, stretch. It's a stretch. But, hopefully there's a transfer to talk about. Hopefully, the doldrums of transfers can be happy for people. It'll
be interesting because you got to figure it's going to be a week before the season starts, so we'll have a lot better picture. We're going to do a live watch along on the end of the basically the 24-hour action, which will be our last preseason before the season starts. And we will have like literally 6 days before the Ipswich game, so there should definitely be a lot to talk about. Speaking of the Polish Prince, for example, one of the activities we're going to do is we're going to live finish our season on the co-op that we normally publish on Patreon. And even better, we're going to have Bickler and Galley do the commentary and color commentary for those games. It does not get any better than that. So that's an hour you want to freaking sponsor over here.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, listen to Bickler and Galley have more arguing. That's perfect. What I want to do on my Saturday afternoon is to watch Bickler and Galley have an argument. Yeah.
So, we're going to start Saturday noon Central, and on Sunday noon Central, we'll be posting all these images and more stuff later on today on our socials as well. So please pass the word. If you're a business owner, I think we're going to have a couple of personal sponsors as well. So the more, the merrier. Hoping to give Jamie Carragher Foundation a decent sized check over here when it's all said and done. But let's get to it's freaking match day, Kazi. How excited are you that you're gonna watch a match with Liverpool players wearing actual Liverpool jerseys and the whole works?
I'm still in denial that Jurgen Klopp's still Liverpool manager. So when I see someone else on the sideline, it's gonna be really weird. So who are you? Listen, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be I love
It's like watching Seinfeld, but somebody else is playing Kramer or something.
Yeah, it's a very, very, yeah. I like that a lot. It's yeah, I mean, I love preseason. I just think it's a bit of a laugh. People take the results far too seriously as well. Like people go, "Oh my god, we got lost 5-0," and you're like, and we had 45 players out. like, you know what I mean? Just changing lads.
So what are you watching? I guess I mean, like when you watch, obviously it's gonna be, chill. We're like not really analyzing. There are a couple of things to look at and stuff. Good morning, Nick. And watching a match live in the afternoon, evening here in the that's different by itself, right? A normal time Liverpool game. But what were you going to be like watching for?
All I care about is some kind of style of play, something a bit different. And
okay,
Curtis has mentioned it about being like a lot more passing team to death kind of thing. Keeping hold of the ball a lot more and stuff like that instead of being too direct. Curtis has alluded to that in his press conference. I don't care what the result is. Don't care if we lose 10-0. I'm not interested in that. All I want to see is a kind of style of play and see something that the manager's meant to be working on. And the last thing that I think that Liverpool fans want, especially me, I don't want this season to turn into like a Jurgen Klopp tribute act where we're trying to do the same things and it's not the same because it's a different, manager. So I want to see his different kind of style of play. Van den Beek's playing, that means he must start. For Liverpool, it doesn't mean that. It means nothing. It just means
there's no other center backs in camp, kind of a thing. More than, and that's like the tricky part, right? I mean, okay, so like Nick is asking what the expectation is, and that's a pretty decent conversation. But even before that, how much does preseason affect your expectations, or do they correlate at all? Like, will you see something in preseason that's gonna make you change your expectation? Let's put it that way.
I think Liverpool didn't win a preseason game the year we won the league with Klopp. So
I think so, right? Like we used to talk about this all the time, and they sucked all the time because I mean,
and then we won
clearly there is not a lot of tactical preparing, right? You're not preparing for the opponent. You just everybody is doing their own thing, and it clashes with the other team. It clashes with the other team. Your substitutions are all set, so there's not a lot of tactical adjustments being made. You're just trying to see what happened on the practice pitch. Are we able to do it game speed?
That's exactly my point. I just want to see something that the manager's working on. Go, well, that's a bit different, or that's a bit new, or something like that. I kind of, I don't take too much into the results, to be honest. I think Liverpool will win the game because probably Adrian might be in goal, so that helps for Real Betis. But
yes, that's freaking wrong. Poor Adrian.
It's a bit of fun. I love Adrian. No, I mean, listen, I don't take anything into the results of the game. Again, I just want to see some kind of style of play, see someone different, and see something a bit cool. I'm assuming Mo Salah will be captain, and Curtis Jones will be captain for that period of time, and then because it's pre-season and no one really cares. So let's just see what happens, mate. But yeah, it'll be exciting just to see the lads have a runabout, and anytime we get to watch Mo Salah with a Liverpool shirt, then I'm pretty cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan says I had to fight off a family of possums. A true story. Dude, you're in Indiana. I think we're in the same time zone, or he might be an hour ahead. 10 in the morning. What are the possums doing out there?
I mean, yeah, rabid possums. There we go in Ryan Thompson's I love rabid possums,
So, okay, let me since you did mention the whole Curtis Jones thing, let's talk about that a little bit. So and honestly, the other night, well, let's go with the code first. We got told that we were having 6 weeks off. I came back after 4. Teacher's pet over here. I wanted to take everything in. I feel in the past that it was a little bit rushed. Now it's going to be where he wants us to have all the ball and kill teams. So it sounds almost a little like City-ish in that sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's more... I don't know. We don't really know until we have a look at them. I kind of think, especially in proper serious games of football. But first things first is first. Paragraph in that quote that he came back early is a really indictment for the man is. You know what I mean? He didn't have to come back early, and he wants to get his face in front of the manager and say, "Look at me," kind of thing, and kind of prove himself. I think he kind of knows as well the Ipswich game, and especially the first couple of games, because the players are coming back so sporadically, that he probably is one of the main starters. and he could be one of the main starters in the games because he's come back so early.
Yeah.
He's worked on something, and it's a bit like when Klopp's first season, where he just went, Adam Lallana, you are the guy who's going to work all this out for me. And do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it could be like Curtis Jones, you're the lad who's going to show the lads what I need to do here and what we're going to do here. So fair play to Curtis, really good attitude and really positive. Yeah, I don't know if it's like kill teams and pass. By the way, if it is that kind of style of play, Curtis Jones will be fantastic in our midfield because he doesn't give the ball away often. So it's like, so that's player where he's like, we're going to pass teams to death. His passing's really good and he doesn't give the ball away often, which is like sounds like an Arne Slot kind of midfielder, you know?
And he is good in tight spaces. So I was watching, actually, Angie and I watched this video together. It was kind of like a tactical analysis of some of like Slot stuff and all that. Of course, and then Angie went to bed, and then I was in this deep hole in YouTube of other related tactical videos. And a lot of the stuff I watched and a lot of the footage I saw from like Feyenoord is it's like the overload, first of all, looks obnoxious. Like there's literally a lot of times. I mean, we've seen overload, then we do the diagonal to Mo and stuff, but this is like another level over here where there's like 9 people are on one side over here and just like the other guy isolated. But there's a lot of like crowding up on midfield, and looks like there's a lot more midfielders working in a tight space within that area. But one thing I noticed as I listened to it more and more and more, in terms of what he is doing with midfield, it just gave me the sense that we are not looking for a number 6. We do not need a number 6. We have a couple of guys like McAllister, Bajcetic and stuff like that fit that mold more than Endo does.
I have a think about this. I actually had to think about this a couple of days ago. When you talk about number 6, people go, we need a number 6. Do you want a Javi Alonso or do you want a Mascherano? Because there's 2 very different types of number 6s that you can get in world football. Let's get that, first of all, let's get that out there. There's different types of number 6s. So do you want someone like an Alonso or do you want a Mascherano? Do you want like a Declan Rice, for example, who's not really a 6, but he also breaks the lines a lot, wins the ball high up the field, does bits of a 6 as well. What do you want? So that's what Liverpool need to figure out first of all, is what do they want in a number 6? Because you can have an Endo who just sits in front of the back 4 and goes, I'll protect you and do all this, but he can't really help you going forward. As much as Endo is actually, I'm underrating his footballing ability a little bit there, but he has a very particular role in the team. I don't know. I think Liverpool do need a number 6, but I think it's not the number 6 of, we're going to have like, you know, a Michael Essien. It's going to be, we're having a number 6 of who can do a bit of both. Rodri would be perfect, of course, because he is the best in the position in the world by a country mile.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of someone, I know he just went to Marseille, but like a young Højbjerg, for example, who can do that role, but also breaks the lines. He's quite good in the ball and really good in tight spaces. And you know what I mean? So it's that kind of like, I don't know what they want him. I think they've got to figure that out, really, what number 6 they want.
That's the thing. Like, we all want, or I should say the most fans in general, in their minds, they're looking for a Fabinho, right? They want a Fabinho type. I think when people say we need a 6, we want a 6, what they envision is a Fabinho who is just going to win the ball, give it up, win the ball, give it up, and then cover basically. Or, I mean, people talk about like, you know, the number, like Ryan is saying, for example, a 6 that can cover Trent's ass. I would argue that it was always Henderson covering Trent's ass, not really Fabinho back in the day. So it really depends on the system. Mind you, when I went in that black hole, the more footage I watch of Feyenoord and how they play and stuff like that, the more I'm convinced, unless he's changing his ways, the more I'm convinced that Trent is a right back in this system, and he's going to be like shifting. It's an inverted, but not exactly the same and stuff like that. Nick says, Kazi, the way you talk, I bet you're originally really from Liverpool. Yes, actually, you can see more.
I'm actually from Milwaukee. I just learned this accent.
I spent a summer in Liverpool. Really picked up the accent. Yeah, actually, you can watch Kazi. If you join our Patreon, Nick, we have a show, an Irishman, a Scouser, and a Turk. And yes, you want to see an accent show. That is a true accent show. A Turkish guy speaking English, a Scout speaking English, and an Irish guy speaking English.
We're all trying. We're all struggling with the English language.
It's everybody's second language.
It's everyone's second language on the chat. But
Going back to let's go back to slots. Liverpool, Milwaukee, same thing. We all know that. Yeah. Going back to Slot and some of the things he said, because it goes back to this number 6 getting somebody in transfers and stuff like that. He kind of talked about, and I don't have the quote to show, but in paraphrasing, he's basically saying it's a good team, hard to find somebody that's going to be better than the guys we have. So it takes time, but he does say that he'll be shocked if there is nobody coming in. That doesn't necessarily mean a 6. That doesn't necessarily mean, anybody else, but like in a specific position and stuff like that. But what do you make of those comments? Because I think we had the same, like a similar outlook from Klopp too, right? It would just he would almost get offended when people ask for transfers because he would be like, what's wrong with these boys kind of thing, which is a good thing for a manager to kind of stick up for his players and say, like, who's out there better than these boys? Kind of
that was the point, especially when Liverpool were at the heights in like 18, 19, 19, 20. You're like, when people go, we need to make some signings, you're like, there's only like fucking 15 players that can improve this squad, in the whole world.
Yeah.
They're all worth over 100 million. Like, you know what I mean? There's only certain amounts of players you can get in. The argument is, though, with a Slot, of course, he wants to take a look at the team. He wants to take a look at what he's got, which is completely understandable. It's just very unlucky that it's happened in a season where there's summer tournaments. Because I think if it wasn't a season where there's summer tournaments and he gets the lads back earlier, I think you would have seen a lot more movement earlier of what he wanted. Let's get it right. If he's going to try to implement a style of play, as much as we love our strikers and we love our midfielders or whatever that is, they might not be able to play the kind of style of play that he wants them to play. They might not be quick enough on the ball to pop it off. I don't know. I don't know what he wants. But the argument is, he also said, I'll be very surprised if we don't make signings, i.e., if you think we're just sitting here not talking about transfers with Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, and it's fucking transfer season. Of course they're talking about transfers. It happens. Liverpool have always been very patient and they always do the things behind closed doors. I am starting to get a little bit, lads, it's fucking 3 weeks before the season starts. Kind of like that, what's helping Liverpool here, Tim, which no one's talking about, Liverpool have a very favourable first six fixtures. It's very favourable. So Liverpool
see, I know what you mean there, but can't that come back to bite you in the ass? Because
I'm not. Listen, I'm not
point where you should have locked in points. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. And that's a fair argument. But there's a part where you go, if this signing comes in 2 games into the season, a new signing, let's say, Liverpool should still win the first 2 games, and it shouldn't be on this new signing to come in and transform. Liverpool still have a really, very good squad, and you can trust them to do parts of the job. You know what I mean? I agree with what you're saying. We shouldn't ask a new signing to be learning on the job. We kind of fell out for that with Gravenberch last season, when he was learning on the job because he came in so late in the window.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of affected him a lot as well. But there's a part where you look and go, he has to have a look at the players. The manager deserves to have a look at what he's got. He deserves to see what he can do in this formation. Again, and that's why Curtis coming back 2 weeks early is a massive indictment to him to go, well, I want to start every game next season for Liverpool. I'm going to come back and show you what I'm about. You know what I mean?
It's a smart professional move, that's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. But I mean, Ryan Gravenberch never came back early and he didn't kick a fucking ball for Holland. Do you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, you know what I mean? I don't, as much as I know Curtis didn't get picked and stuff like that, but whatever. He hasn't kicked the ball, and Trent barely kicked the ball. I understand Trent had a long season last year and Gravenberch never, but, Joe Gomez didn't kick a ball for England. So, at least Curtis is showing that kind of implementation of guys, I want to start for Liverpool next season. I want to start every game. So, well, I'm interested, mate, but I do think Liverpool still do probably two signings, I think. Maybe 3.
I think it depends on how many outgoings too, right? Who do we move on? Because is Sepp really being looked at and he does well? That takes, now you don't have to sign a center back kind of thing. When I listen to Slot say that, basically what I think is these talks have been made. I think he's already kind of, I don't want to say asked for, but kind of voiced his opinion on what will be needed. This is where we need. So he's just a matter of waiting for those people to come in. I realize everybody says he has to take a look at the team, but I just feel like the people he has to take a look at are already there. And that's why Curtis is there, I think. And that's a smart move by him.
Yeah.
I really thought, and I realized, they're still practicing and stuff like that, but I really thought, like Gravenberch and stuff like that would do something similar to kind of get on the good side, unless he's been told, well, we're not thinking about you anyway. But honestly, watching that footage, I felt like, well, this does fit Gravenberch in terms of being able to play in tight spaces and stuff like that. It does fit him well as well. And I think, he's basically saying he'll be shocked if there are no other incomings. meaning he's already kind of voiced opinion on what is going to be needed. And here's another thing we forget. I think we're used to Klopp era where you sign somebody for Klopp, he's not going to play him for quite some time. So there's going to be at least, I mean, heck, look at Fabinho, Robertson. I mean, you name it. There's very rare. I think like Van Dijk is the only guy we trotted out there, and Ellison, like after they were signed. So there's a huge time.
Yeah,
we might not get that with Slot. Like when you say there's 3 weeks left, we might be, you know, he might plug in. He's like, I'm going to plug this guy right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 2 weeks afterwards.
I mean, that's anytime Klopp's kind of signed Premier League players, they came straight in with Van Dijk and stuff like that, and Sadio Mane, and by the way, Mo Salah played in the Premier League. So, but again, with you, when Fabinho came in, by the way, Fabinho was signed 2 days after we lost the Champions League final. He was ready to go, and he kind of got off slowly, and Robertson kind of thing, and I see your point there. I think the argument is for Slot is Richard Hughes talks about being opportunistic in the market. I don't think that means we're not going to sign. We're only going to sign anyone if the opportunity arises. I think it's like we're definitely doing 2, and if the opportunity comes up to do the 3rd or the 4th, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
The Luis Diaz argument keeps coming up, right? I've sent, you know, we're talking about the Anthony Gordon thing today.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, who does Luis Diaz sign for? I don't know who he signed for. As much as Liverpool might want to take a look at Tony Gordon at 23 and Diaz is 27, and I feel like Anthony Gordon might have a higher ceiling right now than than Luis Diaz in 3 years. We can get to that. I just don't understand what they think. Who's going to sign Luis Diaz? Who do you think, Tim? Because
I think the name that was thrown out there was Barcelona, but they're really after Nico. So I think it's almost like if that doesn't pan out, which I think it will, you know, then they might come for Diaz and stuff. I mean, a lot of teams will want Diaz. How many of them would be able to afford paying, you know, 50, 60, 70 million for him? You think a team like Bayern would go for him?
Over who?
They like a fast winger.
Leroy Sané?
You know, like, you know, to replace him and stuff like that. Maybe. I mean, if you like a player who just keeps dribbling and then, you know, doesn't do anything at the end, there you go. It's like you replace Leroy Sané, who takes a shit. I understand why Leroy Sané, after watching Bayern and after watching Germany, I realized why Mane punched them. I don't think it had to be because he never freaking passes the ball when he should.
I mean, the other parties don't make, they just signed Elise. They've just done Elise. They've just got a winger in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then you look again with Sané and stuff like that. I just don't see where the PSG probably is the only other one, really, who you can think of. You know, Italy have no money to sign £70 million footballers. So they can just rule the whole of Italy out. Again, Bayern don't really sign £70 million footballers. And then you're looking at the 2 Spanish clubs, which I don't think Diaz will probably over Rodrigo and players like that. I'm not sure. Mbappe probably going to play on the left-hand side. I don't know who's going to sign him. Like this thing of like, does Barcelona or bust or PSG? But we shall see.
I mean, like, you know, like you can maybe come up with like some teams in Italy and stuff like that, but I just don't think anybody can afford that. I mean, nobody's going to be able to afford that. And I almost feel like, you know, like that whole Gordon thing, like the whole Gordon thing really relies on if we move Diaz or not. And honestly, like when we heard of the Gordon rumors earlier, maybe like a month or so ago, we kind of said, oh, that pretty much figures that Diaz is gone. Because you already have Gakpo who can play there as well. So, and Nunez who can actually also play there as well. So can you take Gordon and put him on the right hand side?
No, you can, but I think you like that thing of cutting in kind of thing on the stronger foots. By the way, I was selling the whole team to sign Anthony Gordon. By the way, I would sell everyone on this team to get Anthony Gordon through the door at Liverpool,
just to piss off your Everton buddies. Figured.
Can you imagine it?
Actually, honestly, I kind of figured, but at the same time, I was going to ask you this. I don't know if I ever got a chance to talk about with you how you would feel, because you know you hated him so much at one point at Everton.
My argument is why I hate him so much. Everton found talking like he was the second coming of fucking, I don't know, fucking Pele, and you're like, I mean, you need to chill out a bit. That's why. And by the way, Everton didn't have a lot to cheer for, so I understand their argument there. But there's a part where he's kicked on so much at Newcastle. And I was like, okay, now he actually is a half-decent player. I didn't think he was going to get to the level of what he's kind of showing now at 23, that he can actually kick on and go back that way. You know what I mean? So that's fucking fair play to him for actually going to that level. I do feel like, though, Tim, I just checked there. He plays 35 times last season. Gets 11 goals and 10 assists. That's good winger numbers, you know. That's really good winger numbers.
Especially the way Newcastle play, too.
Exactly, yeah. And like they're really fucking good, strong numbers, solid numbers. Do you know what I mean? At 23, where you can actually go that way. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like there's an argument here if you're Liverpool, with Diaz's age, I'm not sure he's the same player after the injury, that if you can do a cheaper version, let me reword that, if you can make 75 million on Diaz and sign Gordon for 60, it could be just a great bit of business all round. He also helps us with the homegrown quota a lot, which Liverpool always tread the fine line with. So, as much as it would piss off my Everton mates, and my God, the fume, I might take the day off work if Liverpool sign Gordon. It would be an improvement on what I think on our left-hand side. A big improvement.
Ryan says, I'd rather have Diaz than Gordon, as he has more yellow cards for diving than goals.
Yeah, but this is the part.
Fixed that a little bit, especially in the beginning. He was really bad with that.
I question this, right? Well, he's a little twat. It's a bit like Suarez when he played for Liverpool. Suarez was an arsehole, but you loved him, didn't you?
Yeah, he's the guy that you want. It's like Robertson. You know, like, when he's on your team, you love him. When he's on the other team, you can't stand him. So I get that. But
this thing as well of Newcastle wanting more than 60. Anthony Gordon has 2 years left on his deal. Like, they're at a stage, and also they're always treading a fine line with PSR, Newcastle. So there's also a part where they might just go, fuck it, and we're clear for next year. We'll just do him now. He might be desperate to play for Liverpool. He might walk back in the door and he's causing fucking shit in the door. And you know what I mean? There's all that kind of stuff. Because let's get it right. He wants to play for Liverpool. I think we all kind of know that he wants to play for Liverpool because where he's from and stuff. He might just kind of look and go, fuck it, he's got 2 years left on his deal. We can go and sign a winger. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like if we were signing a fella from like the fucking South American League and he was worth 60 odd million, everyone would go, fucking hell, he looks like a player. You know what I mean? It's that kind of weird.
Yes, I think there's a built-in bias because we rooted against them so long. Like when people hear Gordon, they're like, no, not Gordon. I think that's based on that bias of the past because we rooted against them so much. Saito says Diaz has the intensity we need in our style of play. And I think this is where I come to. I don't know our style of play. We don't know our style of play. Like, we don't know what he wants from the winger. I mean, I understand, what Diaz does off the ball. I don't think we can ever fault Diaz for efforts, like off the ball, defensively, or, chasing maybe like a long ball that looks like a lost cause. Yeah. Sometimes he can make something off of it because of his work rate, and he chases that ball down and stuff. Yeah. But I think Gordon is pretty similar that way. Would I do a trade-off? I think the only reason if I did it wouldn't be based on player. I find them really similar. I think it would be more because, one, the homegrown thing you were talking about, and then two would be age. Otherwise, I think it goes back to the original bias. I rather root for Diaz than Gordon, but I think you're right. 3 months in, we would love Gordon.
Oh, you'd love him. And you score away at United or something like that, and then you'll all forget about it in the third game of the season. So there's a part there. I think also, wasn't he didn't he register isn't he the quickest player in the league? I think he registered the quickest player in the league.
He had one of those sprints. I mean, he has the speed. I mean, hey, he terrorized the hell out of Trent.
Oh, mate, and we were down to 10 as well when we were verge, but 10 was having a nervous first 30.
He should have been sent off, really, for...
Yeah. He's a good player. He's got something about him, and I also like that little bit of attitude. I love cockiness. I love players who back themselves. Like, he's went to Newcastle then. Let's get it right. He got to sign a 5-year deal on 150 grand a week and went, I'm set. No, he signed a 3-year deal.
That's true.
He signed a 3-year deal. I'm like, no, I'll back myself. I'll get back to the clubs I want to go to, and I'll get to that level I want to be at. And if Newcastle I'm going to be there, then don't worry about it. And I'll go that way, kind of thing. And I quite like that arrogance in players. So this thing of like Gordon being desperate for Liverpool and stuff like that, this is one of the opportunistic signings that I think Richard Hughes is talking about. I don't think her number 6 is opportunistic. I think Liverpool have to sign number 6.
Yeah.
I also think that could be like, okay, that's possible. Okay, we can do this. Because Barcelona have bid the same money or something for fucking Luis Diaz, then Liverpool have to look at it. Because, by the way, Liverpool have always done that, by the way, in the transfer market. There's no surprise. Liverpool have always been like kind of opportunistic, i.e. Gravenberch. I think Liverpool happy to close shop, and then they went, Gravenberch fancies this. You know what I mean? So then it's like, okay, we'll do it then. I keep going back to this. Liverpool bid 110 million for Caicedo. Liverpool have money.
Yeah.
Liverpool, like there's got to be money there.
But here's my thing, though. When you say Liverpool have money, and they do have money, it's just a matter of, I think it's always, people like to bitch about FSG. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But I think it's not about having the money. It's always about getting the value. So if they feel there's value, but when you get a 6, you brought the Caicedo example, when you spend that much money on a clear need at the time, it seems a bit different than, like, would FSG invest that much, even if it's a good, like, financial opportunity for essentially an area of strength in some ways, unless you're moving one of the guys that's there, like Mo or Diaz.
Yeah, the Diaz one, I think again that's where the opportunistic part comes in again, where you go, they might even say to Gordon, go and do another 12 months there, have a year left, Diaz is definitely gone next year, and do it kind of like that way. They might even say that, but what you're saying with the value for money, I don't think Liverpool signing £110 million number 6 is value for any kind of money. Like, not as a number 6. Liverpool signed Van Dijk and Alisson because we could not defend to save our life. Let's get this right. Liverpool tried to do the goalkeeper thing on a budget before we signed Alisson. We signed Karius for 4.5. We do Danny Ward.
Yeah.
Liverpool did try and cut corners a little bit with the keeper until he went, fuck this, we'll just go and get a big boss keeper.
I think we kind of like figured out the importance of the spine. And I think that's why the money was being spent 110 for Caicedo, like the spine, your goalie, your center back, and your 6.
Maybe. And the Virgil one, by the way, Liverpool were only going to spend 50 million. It's because they pissed off fucking Southampton by tapping them up. That Liverpool had to go back and give them more dough for them because they basically tapped them up in Blackpool, which is a hilarious story, by the way, that Virgil and Klopp met in Blackpool. Like, by the way, for you Americans, if you don't know where Blackpool is, it's a great, great place. And I just love that story. But I keep thinking about this, though, Tim, and I'll ask you the question. I don't think Michael Edwards bids 110 million on any player. Any player.
I don't think so either. I think that's one of those. I mean, I don't know about any player, but I don't think that's a move that would have been done this year.
Do you think
like 110? Because I can see Edwards and, like Hughes talking and be like, dude, we get 5 guys for that, is probably what they would be thinking. And I think unless, I mean, we've seen him go on a shopping spree, though, bringing Van Dijk and Alisson, unless, like you turn around and Mo's leaving for like 150 or something like that. That is the only time I can see him saying, hey, we can sell him for 150 because then we can then go get this guy for 110, get this guy with 40, and we got so much better, even though we sold a player. I can see them doing that, but that is the only way. I don't see them out of nowhere just spending 100 on somebody and putting all their. It's like they don't put all their eggs in one basket unless that basket is a freebie, and then you can just throw whatever in there.
I mean, this is the part again, and again, I'm FSG's biggest critic. I don't think FSG have a say anymore in what happens at Liverpool. I think it's all Michael Edwards. I think that's a part of the deal when he came back. Like, what I need you.
But don't you see him as an extension? Like, he knows the parameters. He understands the parameters.
He understands the parameters, but I think there's also a part of if Michael Edwards says, I need you to sanction an £80 million footballer, they'll just go, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I actually think, you know what I mean?
There's some trust there, that's for sure. Kind of like the trust we have, I guess, right? Because you know what you're doing. You've shown you know what you're doing.
And I do think that is a part as well. It's a massive summer for Liverpool, mate, and I get it with Liverpool wanting number 6 and Liverpool need the number 6. And we keep saying number 6 is like it's the most generic position in the world, like Liverpool need a left winger. Number 6 is completely different. It's centre midfield is completely different to a left winger. Left winger is all about your numbers, in my opinion. It's about if you work hard at the ball and can you get me goals and assists. Number 6 isn't like that. We just had the Alonso Mascherano chat. 2 completely different players who can do the same thing for you. So
what was the name of the number 6? Is it Weissel or whatever? I think he signed for another team that he had at Feyenoord.
Yeah.
And honestly, we keep saying number 6, and that's what I'm saying. It's funny because we were watching that video with Angie, and like the dude is talking about like what the dude did and what's expected out of the 6 in his system and stuff like that. Like you see examples of it, and even Angie, like the first thing we said was like, that sounds awfully like freaking McAllister. Like really, really sounds like McAllister in terms of all the things you want him to do and what he has to be able to do. His positioning actually is not like if you watch a lot of those highlights, the 6 is suddenly in front of the box and stuff. It's not like you rarely saw Fabinho in front of the box. Fabinho was always right in front of the center backs, right? He would almost be like a midfield sweeper, if you will, in front of the center backs. Whereas like in like slot system. It looks like 6 is sometimes where 8 is. He's constantly moving around. And really, as we watch more, and like I say, afterwards, I watched another like freaking like 10, 15 videos showing like different footage from Feyenoord games and stuff like that. It really, really sounded more and more like, I think we might not even, these guys might not even be considering a number 6. It says Diaz is good with the ball, but lack of finishing quality compared to Mane. Even the worst finishing from Nunez, I think a quality 9 is a must buy. Sadly, yeah, don't say Nunez to Kazi because we're already halfway through the show. We'll be here for another. That will be a 24-hour podathon, right?
I mean, listen, the argument of number 9 is a must buy, and I get that, but this part where Liverpool, there's goals all over the pitch. I think you can still rely on Mo's goals as well. But I agree that we still need more goals out of Gakpo and Nunez and stuff like that. I know Nunez gets 18 all comps, which is not bad, but when you have 110 clear-cut chances, 18 isn't great. So there's a part where you're looking for the 9. I think there's a loads of arguments where Liverpool have been like this Kubo, right winger from Sociedad, that Mo Salah can play the number 9 for you in some games. I think there's an argument that you just do put Salah down the middle in some certain games.
I just saw you put that on Discord, but again, it goes back to how we expect to play, right? Do you want a target man? Because Mo probably is not your target man. But depends on how you're playing. If you want like when we use Mane, for example, as a 9, when we got is that when Diaz came in?
Yeah, Diaz comes in the January.
Yeah, and then we shift Mane to a 9 to get the most out of Mane at that time. Yeah. So I can see us, but I don't know if the system is going to be the same way, or you're going to need size from your 9.
But there's a part though, Tim. You can't sign 10 players. Like
no, yeah. No. I get that.
I understand. Like I agree with you. By the way, I think Liverpool do need a number 9, but I think it's like number 5 on the list. Or number 6 on the list of what things that need to be done right now. Apart from contracts, you can take the contract.
Okay, number 1 is what? 6 in your mind?
As a new signing? Yeah, probably. Because I don't think I'd sell Endo tomorrow. But
I'm keeping Endo. I think we talked about this in the keep sell last week. I keep Endo as the Milner of the team.
He's not a Milner though, fella, because you can't play multiple positions.
No, not in that sense. We had the same, literally, like it's like deja vu. Not in that sense, because I didn't explain myself well again. In Milner role, in the sense that he comes in the 70th minute, puts in a couple of hard tackles, gets a yellow card, closes.
That's fair enough. I get that, and I understand that. You can just use his legs for 20. Let's get it right. Endo does have legs, but he does die after 70 minutes in a Premier League football match. He's dead.
I mean, dude is what, 30? 31?
Yeah, he's like 32 now, maybe. Because I think we signed him at 31, I think. So, I mean, listen, the Liverpool have big issues to clear up. First, I think Jayden Danns is going on loan to Plymouth. Is that correct? So there's also Jayden Danns is going on loan to Plymouth.
That's what I don't think it's official yet, but I read that as well.
So Liverpool and Bobby Clark is probably going to go on loan because he didn't go to America.
I actually read the opposites, that Bobby Clark is staying.
So why didn't he go to America then? He's not. I don't think he's went. I don't think he's went.
They said something about like fitness, injury, something like that is what I read. But I also read like he's staying, but I mean, obviously it's not from the club, so it's just people throwing stuff out there.
I'm expecting a mad week. I'm just like expecting a mad 10 days where Liverpool have like 7 outs and 2 wins. For example, like Liverpool need to make a decision on Tyler Morton, like massive make a decision, because your argument that we need a number 6, and I can by the way completely with you that we do need a boss number 6, but then Liverpool, if you're the club, you're saying, well, we got a player there who's unbelievable on loan at Blackburn. Sorry, a Hull. And it was Blackburn before, then Hull. And then we have Bešečić who's come back. We have McAllister who can do the role. We have Endo. So there's an argument going, hey, there's loads of lads who can do that role for you, you know. So why don't we go and sign Anthony Gordon and try and get more goals? And you know what I'm saying? There's arguments. If you're...
What is your number 1? Sorry, go ahead. Like what you said, because... And I agree. You put the number 9 down on the list, like 5, 6, or whatever.
Yeah.
Give me your like top 3, 1, 2, 3.
I'd sign a 6. I'd sign a centre half. They're my 2, and I would then sign a forward. I'd sign a forward of some sort. But I'd also sign a forward who can do both. This is where the Inacio deal looks interesting to me, because you can do a bit left back. So you're like, if you do Costas and you go, well, you can go left back. It's sense going to do your inverted role. I think I know that people don't like this, and I mentioned this last summer on a podcast, and people hated it. I said Robertson kind of comes null and void. You need another proper left back. Sorry, another proper centre half to play 3 at the back when Sen comes into the inverted role. Where
it almost fits a guy like Gomez better, even though he's right-footed.
Exactly. So that's where Inacio kind of tickles my fancy, where you're like, well, you can do a bit left back for me. Do you know what I mean? And then you sell Costas. So I think a centre half, I think it's number 6, and then a forward who can do me a couple of bits of both. You can play on both sides, basically. Liverpool have to make a decision on Ben Doak. Liverpool have had Mo Salah for 6 years as a right winger. Liverpool haven't signed a left-footed centre-half. Do you know Jurgen Klopp had 9 years and he signed one left-footed centre-half? Can you name who that is?
A big dude, Dutch?
No.
No, he's a righty too, isn't he? He just plays on the left.
Ragnar Klavan was the only one he signed.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, there's a left-footed centre-half.
I don't even remember him as being a left-footed. Well, because whenever he played on the right-hand side.
And he also
Van Dijk is like, I'm here, go right.
He also signed he also scored the greatest goal in Liverpool's history away at Burnley. I just want to argue that. But yeah.
Oh, the one with him and Lovren, right?
Remember that game? We absolutely stunk the gaff out 1-0 down. I think he does Oxlade-Chamberlain like the 6. It was like the maddest game you've ever seen. And then Liverpool win 2-1. And it's just like the greatest moment to be like.
It's like a cross that Lovren like brings to the middle, and then Klavan puts it in. He's in the goal as well with a Burnley player or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, it was just a wonderful moment. I think it was like around January, it was freezing. It was just like, what are we doing? But yeah, so I mean, Liverpool need, I think, a centre half, a number 6, and a forward who can do me a couple of bits of both sides, or you know what I mean, just to help us out. But I wouldn't do a forward unless you're getting rid of one.
Yeah, because I mean, if everybody is healthy, that's just, I mean, it's great to have options, but that's just like way too much.
It's not that if everyone's healthy as such, because you can always rely on like Jota to pick up an injury and stuff like that. I just think it's more the game time. I want to see, if Liverpool are going to do a new forward, I want to see them get starting football matches for Liverpool. And eventually you can't have 6 forwards. Like I keep making this point.
That's why I feel like if they sign a forward, it would be more of a young guy with a potential, like, you know, like a higher ceiling as opposed to a Gordon, for example, like money-wise as well.
But the argument is centre half, which we had the chat about with Van den Berg, and people go, "Well, we need a centre half. We have 5 centre halves. What are you talking about? Because we have Van den Berg who's in the door. If Liverpool just signed Van den Berg for 30 million quid from Mainz, everyone would go, fucking hell, he looks like a player.
Yes.
So Liverpool have to make a decision on Van den Berg. That's why I'm saying, like, as much as we all agree, Liverpool have a really deep squad. Liverpool have so much depth in the squad, but I'd still sell 10 of them.
See, that's the thing, because I think we were talking about this on maybe like Wednesday or Monday. Like, you might have a lot of like 6.5 to 7s, you know what I mean? But I would rather, move a couple of those 6.5s and go get an 8. That you can be like, that slot is his, you know, like it's a guarantee kind of a deal. But like Sidus is relying on kids as I don't care. I mean, Spain, there might be some Spanish people who said relying on kids to be our wingers going to a Euro is suicidal too. I don't care if they're 5, if they can play the position the way Slaw wants. So I don't have a problem with Bajcetic. I think we all worry that injury is going to keep carrying on, but we also forget this is a whole new different regime now too, in terms of like the training practices, play style and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's going to be actually interesting to see this year how players react to this physically. Are they going to be more fit? Are we going to have less injuries? Or it's just like part of like, I mean, I'm not talking like contact injuries. I'm talking more like these muscle injuries. And how many times do we hear picked up a knock at practice kind of a thing, right? So like, are we going to get less of that is what I really want to see. But so go ahead.
Sorry, because I think that's interesting what thing you just said there. Aside about the babies thinking kids, and I kind of agree with that. But if Liverpool sign Musiala or the Bellingham, you know, those type of players.
That's what I mean. Age is just a number. I mean, they can sign me, you know.
But they're kids, aren't they? But they're all kids. Musiala's a kid. Pedri's a kid. Wirtz is a kid. Like
we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you know, way back 20 years ago, you wouldn't probably even Trent would be a kid, even though he's been around for a while, right? Like Jones would be a kid. These guys did not get as many opportunities before. I think if you're good now, you're out there either because you were already playing with men when you were 16 and stuff.
I've just checked
back in the day, you were in U21 forever, and then you made the bump and it took time and stuff like that. These guys, 17, 18, are ready to freaking go.
I've just checked if Liverpool sign Camavinga tomorrow for 100 million, everyone will go, we sign Camavinga. He's 21.
Yeah.
It's a fucking kid. Like,
I'll take that kid.
I'll take that kid all day of the week. Thank you very much for my midfield. I'll take Gavi, I'll take Pedri, I'll take all these kids, Florian Wirtz, and So there's an argument there, but as much as I agree with Sido a little bit when he's saying they are babies as such, yeah, but the only way they can mature is by playing football matches. That's the only way they can mature into these like first team kind of players, by playing footy matches. That's why Liverpool, again, they have a deep squad. That's why I was expecting more to go out on loan. But there's also a part here, Tim, which no one talks about. Liverpool have pre-season friendlies. We need players to play them, you know.
Yeah,
we can't just shoot at 14.
That's, I mean, that's a step is there because we don't have another center back.
I mean, like for example, like people like James McCollum and stuff like that. They have to play because we don't have anyone else. They're all out. Yeah. Like, hey, these lads are spending $250 a ticket to go to Pittsburgh and Columbus to go and watch us play United. We can't shoot with 14.
Before you know it, Onam will be trotted out there as a right back or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, again, we need to see. The manager has to take a look at them. He's got the kids back. He knows the ones he wants to keep. He knows the ones he wants to get rid of. I'm sure he's already made the decision on them anyway. Liverpool have got to get this American tour out their system. Just get it out. It's been a fucking...
Okay, let me ask you this real quick, because you said that. Do you think there is any chance he sees something in these next 3-4 games? Is there a kid out there that is, you know, he has the suitcase half packed because he thinks he's going somewhere, but he has an American tour where now he has to unpack because he's staying? You think is there a shot, or this is just for shits and giggles and money?
I think it's more. I think it's more the opposite. I think it could be a kid who's think he's staying, and then he's gone. I think it's more the opposite of like a kid who's thinking he's out the door, then he might stay. I think it's a kid who thinks he's staying and then he's out the door. So, for example, it could be Van den Berg.
I got you. Okay.
It could be the opposite. A kid, Van den Berg, going, I'm going to come in and I'm going to be a big fucking boss player for Liverpool.
But I think if those guys, like Van den Berg, I think, like I say, we're torn. And we had a couple of clips go out on this because you can take both sides. You can say he's there because he's getting a good shot at it. And like you said, might be, you know, going back, or maybe just being put on the shelf for other people to see. Or he could just be there because we need a freaking center back. Konate is not there. Van Dijk is there. Somebody's got to play center back.
This is my point. Joe Gomez, isn't it?
So yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We need players to go out and play these fucking football matches. You can't shoot with 14 players. I've got a feeling after Liverpool literally land in America, you might just see a flurry of outgoings, like a flurry of activity. Do you know what I mean? Of just like, just get like, it's over now. We needed these lads to go out there. You can't go out there and embarrass yourself to America with 14 lads. You know what I mean? You've got to go out there with the full squads and give lads minutes and give lads breaks when they need them. Oh, by the way, when they go back to fucking the actual training centre, the 6 first teamers on the fucking rowing machines. And you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, I forgot about these lads. I was boss there. I just played against United. That was great. We won 3-0. And then, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're Van den Berg, and you walk in and see Van Dijk and Gomez going, what's happening, Paul? And you're like, oh, yeah, fuck.
Thanks for keeping it warm.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Did you enjoy that little trip? Did you enjoy that?
You keep bringing Sepp's name a lot, so this is going to be an interesting question.
Yeah.
Give me one guy that you're watching carefully to see what he does.
It probably is Van den Berg for me. It probably is. And I'm also, man, this is so hard for me because I'm also into the idea of Curtis Jones being a massive starter next year. Because if Liverpool are playing the way they're going to play, I think there's no better ball-playing midfielder in our squad than Curtis Jones.
But we know what we're getting with him, right? I would put Mac above him, by the way. But
of course, I mean, you know what you getting with him, and I argue that. But there's also a part where, is he coming into his peak now? Is this like the age where you go, he's 23 now, and you go, is this the age where, okay, you're now solidified kind of thing, and this is it? Like, this is yours? So I'm also expecting a big fucking one from Dominic Szoboszlai. I need to see more, man. I need more out of Szoboszlai. And I want to see... And by the way Curtis is talking about the manager's style of play, I don't think Szoboszlai suits that. I think Szoboszlai suits having a bit of space and where he can use his big power and his big running ability into driving open spaces. So, I mean, that's another one I want to kind of have a look at as well, too.
Yeah.
Who is it for you, though?
Who
was it for you?
Carvalho. Ryan was talking about it. Carvalho. I just want to see how he fits. Because I don't think... Let's put it this way. Carvalho, and I think, like, you know, actually we had a short going at Matush was talking about this, you know, for that position, if you need Carvalho, then you're probably keeping Szoboszlai, who's a better player that we know, right? I think for the same role, if given the same role, I think I would rather have Szoboszlai than Carvalho. Yeah. I just want to see how he fits. More importantly, though, I want to see if he gets a shot where he fits, or because we don't have a bunch of other people, I mean, really, we don't have any wingers out there. Like, I don't know who's playing wing.
Salah. And then left wing, fucking hell.
Right? I mean, you don't like all these guys that can play left wing for you are not there. So I don't know who's playing left wing. I mean, if we're throwing Carvalho at left wing, where we know what he can do, unless the winger requirements have totally changed now.
He gets killed, doesn't
he? Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be basic. To me, that will say we're not thinking of him.
That's not.
We're not really taking a look at him. He's just there.
That's not even an opportunity, is it? It's not an opportunity. You're just doing it because we need bodies. I mean, you just need lads.
Yeah, it goes back to what you're saying. He's there because we don't have any other winger. Somebody's got to play it. It's not like we're really taking a look at him. But like I say, I don't know how much like Slots and them are saying to Anand at the hotel now. They're like, these are huge games. I got to see what I got. Or he already knows what he's got. This is just more about getting a bit more like intense and playing against other people. And, you can only go against. I don't know, if you're a defender, you can only have Mo coming at you so many times. Let's have somebody else come at you. And you know what I mean? Like, you get used to it. I mean, as you practice with a team, sometimes you do better than how you are because you're so familiar with tendencies. I mean, I know you're going to cut there, so it's a lot easier to defend you. Whereas as you play different people, that can kind of change.
Yeah, and I think there's a part as well where you are right there about like Liverpool not having any left winger or forwards, basically, and the manager's had these lads now for a few weeks. He has been here, like you should know enough about the younger lads. But again, we come back to it. Liverpool don't have anyone here. I don't like Liverpool are literally so sparse in this tour. All the lads who we were kind of relying on to come back all went deep in tournaments. They went super deep. You know what I mean? So again, I'm with you, Tim. I am with you. Carvalho's interesting as well, and I get that. I think there's a part.
Would it be fair to look at, for example, Carvalho or Szoboszlai you brought up, looking at who he's playing with? Like if we trotted him out on a League Cup game with a bunch of other people, you'd be like, well, it's not fair on him. He's playing with a bunch of kids. Would it be fair to look at him in preseason, playing with people he's normally not going to play with?
And there's also a party if you're Carvalho and Carvalho goes out and scores 2 and then fucking gets 2 assists against United. That's someone who fucking bid 25 million for him. And then you're gone anyway. So there's, you know what I mean? There's also that.
That's why Sepp is there personally.
Yeah, again, there's also that part. I think there's an argument if he does Jones and Szoboszlai in both pre-seasons, and then say in the number 8s, let's just say I'm doing this in inverted because I don't know how Liverpool are going to set up. If he does 2 number 8s of Curtis and Szoboszlai, they'll be the first ones for Ipswich. I think there's an argument where you can ease McAllister back in. McAllister's gone deep again. Like he went deep in the World Cup. He's gone deep again. He was, you know what I mean? I think there's an argument if he does Jones, Szoboszlai, and they look really good, that they might just do Ipswich. And then maybe, is it Brentford at home, I think, the next game? And then you do Brentford at home, and then worry about McAllister for United. I think there's a part there where you look and go, because they're 2 first teamers anyway, and you know what you're getting out of them, and you know how good they are, and you know you can trust them already. That's where, again, the fixtures have helped Liverpool going back to that. The fixtures have helped a little bit, where you can go, I don't know when there's actual. I think there's 3 games before the market closes. The transfer market closes. There's a part where you might go to Sepp going, well, you're starting Ipswich, and then you can fuck them off. Do you know, you know what I mean? You're on the bench for Ipswich.
Yeah, leaves you like 2 full weeks after the first.
And you can have another little look at them, and then, by the way, someone in Germany might get a bit trigger happy, and they've had an injured centre half in the first game, and they're desperate for one, and Sepp's still available. Do you know what I mean? So there's a part where all that kind of plays in. You don't want to bite your bullet too early. You don't want to show your hand too early a little bit. I actually look at this and think, I think City have only signed 1 player from Savio, who's also a City player. I'm not getting into it. But they've signed Savio. Arsenal have signed 1, which is that centre half for Italy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But so there's an argument that Liverpool only 1 behind the first 2 players that you've kind of got 2 teams you've got to worry about.
Didn't Arsenal sign somebody else, but I can't remember who the hell.
But I mean, he's the main one, isn't he? The Italian kid. So I know Villa have signed a few players, but I don't expect Villa to, be in the round.
I hate to say it, and we will probably talk a lot about this as we do previews, but I do like some of United's moves. How it will come together, I'm not sure, but I do like some of those moves.
Which ones you like? Which one are you more excited
for them? Well, I guess, the list is not official yet, right? That's not official. That's in the talks. That will be a smart move for them, I think, if that happens.
Okay.
The Dutch forwards kids, what's his name? Xerxes or whatever.
The one who doesn't score goals and Weghorst.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as sold on him personally. Yeah. Will they be able to make Sancho work? Because that would have been a huge upgrade for him instead of like Anthony and stuff like that. I just, I like some of those like changes they've made. Like Ugarte is a good one as well. It's the kind of player they needed compared to like the aging Casemiro and stuff like that. My only thing is, will it come together? Let's hope not.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Ugarte's officially signed yet, but I mean, it's close.
I think he's basically, they're going to deal with PSG. They got to agree with PSG, which I'm actually amazed PSG gave up on Ugarte so fast or willing to let him go so early. But yeah, I mean, you're right in terms of like, we're not, and I mean, I talked about this, I think, with like Matush a couple of weeks ago, where I feel like we come off a season where we had a solid season overall.
Yeah.
And I look back at the season and I can't give you more than a one or two players. Like I can only give you like Elliott and stuff like that of people who had really good seasons. Like any player you look at, you're like
Van Dijk. Yeah.
Yeah, Van Dijk came back to close to his best and stuff. But you don't say, oh, we wasted a great season by our forwards, or we wasted you know what I mean? Everybody had their ups and downs and stuff like that. And we never expected that new midfield to kick in. So a new season in. The only thing is it's a new adjustment. I really think it's gonna be more of an energizer that we have a new manager and new style than like a detriment, to be honest with you. Because I think you can tell by like Jones, you can see by like the players and some of the things they're saying. It's a different voice is nice to have, man. Doesn't matter how much you like your boss, but when something changes, it changes.
I agree with all that. I think the argument is again, I keep saying this. That's why the first six are quite favourable for Liverpool, apart from United away. They're quite favourable. Where if Liverpool get off to a good start and win 4, draw 2, the first 6, that's not asking a lot, by the way, with the teams that you're playing. It's not asking for the fucking world.
No.
That there might be just like a Brendan Rodgers season where you just start snowballing into this like fucking hell, this can actually grow and grow. You know what I mean? Yeah. When Liverpool are just on like a runaway train, and everyone's just hanging on for dear life of like just let's get over the line here. It could be that kind of season. You know what I mean? But I want to mention the United thing because you did mention it about the signings and stuff. As much as I agree with you, by the way, I don't mind a bit of the signings. This Lenny Yellow looks like a player. They only got 60 points last year. It's hard to claw 30 in a season, Because let's get it right, 90 points wins the league. You got to get over 90 to beat City. Everyone knows this now. It's over 90. That's why Arsenal didn't win the league. They got 89, I think. You got to go over 90 to win the. You got to go over 90. They got 60. Fucking hell, man. It's winning an extra 10 games to get 90. It's a lot to do, you know what I mean? It's a lot to change.
It is. No, I hear what you're saying. But here's the thing. I mean, if we're looking at top 4 or something like that, that's where it's going to be a bit more of a challenge.
Liverpool got 82 and everyone's like heartbroken that we got 82. Still not a bit. Like, I remember growing up, 82 would win you the league. Like,
easily.
I mean? So, I mean, like, Liverpool still got 82. So, we're going back to Liverpool on this last pre-season friendly in this new season. I think the first 6 is favourable. Liverpool can get off to a start. If Liverpool get off to a start, then you could just snowball into something insane. And I think we all should just back the lads, be patient. I'm getting a bit, I want to say this, I'm getting a bit trigger happy and a bit itchy with the new signings. But I also believe that Michael Edwards has earned our trust over the years and we should just trust them what they want to do. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see, mate. But let's get your score prediction, Tim, of a pre-season friendly against Real Betis. Because I'm interested to see what you say. I'm going to say 4-2 Liverpool.
Oh, I was going to go with a 3-3.
I just think it'll be a mad game of footy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Fun,
I think it's going to be open, and I mean, it'll be fun. There's so many unknowns going into the season, even more than last year. We thought last year was an unknown. I think because we've gotten spoiled and used to knowing exactly what we're getting, so this is kind of a change. But I'll tell you what is not an unknown, that this freaking thing is happening. 24-hour podathon. August 10th through 11th. The silent auction is going to be everything for the Carragher Foundation. And they've donated, like I say, like several items for us to silent auction. We're going to do the sponsor. What we ask from you guys, and that's what Jamie wants you to do as well, is sponsor an hour and donate to the auction. Just send us a message with an item that you want to donate on an hour you want to sponsor, and we'll give you the full details. You can come on air and chat for us for a little bit as well. God knows people will be sick of just watching 3 of us. So the more other people we get on air, the better it is for everyone.
How can you bid in the silent auction?
Basically, it's going to be similar to what we did with the Turkey one.
Okay.
So basically, we'll post the link. It almost looks like a shopping cart where like it's a website. We use betterworld.org, who's like a great company for basically doing these kinds of things. So basically, you go there, you can bid on it, and then you get a notification when you do get outbid, so you can go back in again and stuff like that. Or you can, it's almost like eBay a little bit, where you can say, well, I'll bid up to 200 or something like that. And then somebody will get a notification saying, hey, you just got outbid for 205, so you can come back on. A lot of good stuff. And more importantly, it's a great cause. So I know you're donating an item to it. For example, that's
I
Jamie
do have it
Fairbanks
here,
sign.
but I've got a background.
We had just Kieran donate signed autographed by Henderson. So that's going to be on there as well, his book. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff, and the more the merrier. But yeah, give us a help. Like I say, even if you're not going to be able to help us out by spreading the word, because somebody hopefully will kind of like pick up an hour to sponsor or send us an item to the auction and stuff. But it's freaking match day, bitches. So we're going to see you guys in the pre-match. We'll tune in probably once the lineup comes up, about 30 minutes or so before the kickoff. Not a lot of analysis to be done going into the game, and then we'll go from there. So have an excellent Friday until another like 6-7 hours or so, and we'll see you guys then. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.